More than 6,000 crew members are responsible for ensuring the flawless execution of operations on an aircraft carrier. However, given the significant number of personnel on board, there is a possibility of someone accidentally falling into the sea. In such an event, the safety procedures on an aircraft carrier are designed to minimize risks, as it is typically unlikely for crew members to fall off the carrier. Nevertheless, there have been instances where crew members have fallen into the sea. It is important to note that contemporary aircraft carriers can reach considerable heights, often measuring tens of meters. When a person plunges from such heights and makes contact with the water's surface, the impact can be likened to falling on cement due to the tension exerted by the water. This is because the force of gravity acting on the water is comparable to that of solid ground. As a result, individuals who fall off an aircraft carrier while in an incorrect position are at high risk of fatality before they can be rescued. Similar to other warships, aircraft carriers are equipped with specialized safety measures. While the carrier does have guardrails, they are retractable and relatively easy to operate, serving the carrier's military function. The primary purpose of an aircraft carrier is to transport and facilitate the takeoff and landing of fighter aircraft. To accommodate this function, the carrier's deck is designed with a spacious runway. Installing permanent guardrails on the deck would hinder the ability of the fighter aircraft to take off or land. Hence, the guardrails are designed to be retractable. Furthermore, anti-fall nets are attached to the sides of the ship, specifically at the starting and ending points of the runway where protective barriers are absent. These nets are installed to prevent crew members from falling into the water. In addition, the crew of the aircraft carrier undergoes rigorous training to minimize the risk of accidental falls into the ocean. However, if a crew member does fall overboard, specific steps and actions are taken to initiate a search and rescue operation. Any ship personnel who witness the incident must immediately notify the navigation bridge by shouting, "Man overboard, starboard or port side," specifying the side of the ship. This information is crucial as it determines the direction in which the ship will be turned. Even if the person in the water is not visible, a life ring is promptly launched over the same side of the ship. Simultaneously, the officer in charge of the engine control gives the order to raise the alarm throughout the entire vessel. This triggers the man overboard warning, alerting the crew to the situation. Some sailors assemble at a designated location, ready to lower one or more rescue boats to form a rescue party. Meanwhile, all sailors not directly involved in the search and rescue operation report to their assigned muster stations for accountability. The muster counts are reported to the bridge, which helps identify the missing individual from the ship's company. This information is vital for assessing the situation and organizing the search efforts effectively. To locate the person who fell overboard, a ship handling maneuver known as a man overboard rescue term is implemented immediately after the incident is discovered. Several methods can be employed to bring the vessel closer to the individual's position. The choice of maneuver depends on various factors, including the person's location, whether the fall was witnessed or reported later, the navigable area available to the vessel, and whether the ship is propelled by engines or sails. Commonly used methods include the Anderson turn, also known as the single turn or fast turn, the Q turn, also known as the figure 8 turn, the Williamson turn, and the Serrano turn. These maneuvers are designed to optimize the ship's trajectory and enhance the chances of locating and rescuing the individual who fell overboard. Throughout the entire search and rescue operation, the ship remains focused on finding and safely recovering the person. The crew is extensively trained to act swiftly and efficiently in such situations, aiming for the best possible outcome in challenging and potentially life-threatening circumstances. The Williamson turn is a maneuver employed to bring a powered ship or boat back to a previous point it has traversed, commonly used for sea rescues. It was named after Lieutenant John Williamson of the United States Navy, who utilized this technique in 1943 to rescue a man who had fallen overboard. Interestingly, in John McPhee's book Uncommon Carriers, it is mentioned that this maneuver was originally referred to as the Budakoff pipe, and was utilized during the Russo-Japanese War to maintain a consistent distance between weapons and the enemy. United States Navy nuclear submarines also employed the Williamson turn to eliminate dead zones in their sonar systems. The Williamson turn is particularly useful in situations where visibility is poor, such as at night or when the point where the person went overboard has disappeared from sight. It is most effective when the point is still relatively close. However, it is a versatile maneuver that can be adapted to various circumstances. On the other hand, the Anderson turn, also known as a single turn, is a maneuver commonly executed by powered ships or boats to return to a previously passed point, often done to swiftly retrieve a casualty. The Anderson turn is typically employed when the point is still visible. However, there may be cases where a Serrano or Williamson turn would be more suitable, although they may result in a longer journey back to the starting location. In the ideal scenario for a man overboard situation, the vessel should always be maneuvered upwind of the individual to minimize the risk of injury. It is important to turn off the vessel's engines while moving the person safely away from the propellers. Both the Williamson turn and the Anderson turn to serve as valuable techniques in maritime operations, offering options for quickly returning to a specific location and ensuring the safety and well-being of individuals involved in rescue situations. When a man overboard situation occurs on a sailboat, the rapid turn or quick turn is the standard procedure for sailing vessels. Although there are alternative methods available, this technique remains a dependable approach and can be the most effective depending on the specific circumstances. The quick turn is especially valuable in scenarios where there is a shortage of crew members or when the boat is navigating in turbulent seas, as it helps prevent an uncontrolled jibe. Essentially, the rapid turn involves maneuvering the boat in a figure-8 pattern, serving as a fundamental form of this technique.